So I used to work at an ice cream chain where we prepared the ice cream with various toppings on a frozen piece of rock. On this particular day, I was working with one other person, and it wasn't too busy. Two young guys came in, about high school age. They ordered a large bowl of ice cream with a few toppings. I mixed it for them, and went to ring them up. I'll use G4 guy, since I really just talked to one of them. Me, okay, so that'll be $X.XX. G, okay, I have a gift card. Me, great. Scans card so it looks like you owe another $0.36 after the gift card. At the point, they both look at each other and shrug sadly. G, oh, I'm sorry, I don't have any money with me. Never mind. Me, oh hey, it's cool. Only $0.36. I take the $0.36 out of the tip jar and put it in the till, no big deal. G, wow, thanks. The two guys leave, and I thought that was that. Felt good doing something nice. So the one guy comes back several hours later. I saw him come in and went to the register to meet him. Me, oh hey, you're back. Did you need anything else? Before I finished, and without looking at me once or saying a word, he dropped a $20 bill in the jar and immediately turned and left. I was so shocked I just stared after him until he walked out the door. So that was pretty cool. I work at BBQ shop here in Australia. I've dealt with all kinds of customers in my 3 years of experience until today. I had the most memorable experiences yet. Today I had two Chinese men walk in, and they looked to be in their early 20s or so. They walked around for a bit before I approached them and asked if they needed any help. It suddenly became clear they didn't know a word of English when one pulled out his phone and started using a translator. Soon fleshed out they were looking at a BBQ we have in stock and some accessories. After about 25 minutes going back and forth with the translator, they had all they wanted. Normally this transaction only takes about 5 to 10 minutes on average, but I didn't mind as we were all being patient with each other. I rang up all the items and showed them a full breakdown of the items, which total around $500. I had all the products ready to go in a pile next to the register when he finished paying. When it all finalized, he leaned in to shake my hand and said in perfect English, "Oh, just so you know, we speak perfect fucking English, mate." Both these men erupt into laughter while I'm sitting shaking my head and laughing as well, thinking how the fuck did I fall for it. After we all slowly regained ourselves, one of the men leaned in and said how well I took it. May not seem all that funny in writing, but it's totally made my week. On mobile, so apologies. Before I start, we need some backstory. Here in England we have 50p coins, and some of them are decorated to celebrate someone, an event, or landmark. These can be quite collectible. Last year a series of 5 coins was released to celebrate the author Beatrix Potter, and certainly the older generations like to keep them. By far the most sought after coin featured a character called Peter Rabbit, and it wasn't uncommon for people to ask me to try and find one in my till for them. Fast forward to today. The coins are rarer than they used to be, but they are also sought after by less people. A lady comes up to my till, buys a few things with a total of £3.50 and pays with exact change, one of the coins being a 50p. Naturally I glanced at it and remarked it was one of the Beatrix 50p's. Woman me. That's one of those Potter 50p's. Haven't seen one in a while. Oh sorry, can I take that back? I've got 4 of them, and I want to give all 5 to my granddaughter. So I give it back to her, and she can only give me a £1 coin. She now needs 50p change. Sorry about that, love. I've been trying to track down these coins for months and I just got this one. Beatrix Potter seal. From across the road there. Oh really? Which ones have you got so far then? I've got the duck, squirrel, the hedgehog and the seal. At this point I notice the queue is growing, so I start fumbling around for a 50p to give her as change. By chance I look down and happen to notice the Peter Rabbit 50p was half buried in my till. The last coin she needed. I quickly fished it out, turned it face up so the lady didn't see the design, and gave her the receipt. Well, good luck finding that last one, madam. Hopefully it turns up soon. Thank you, love. Have a good shift. She walks away, but doesn't get far before looking at her change to put it in her purse. She turns around and looks at me, now serving another customer. She walks past my till and silently mouths thank you. I nodded my head and smiled. Rarely have I seen anyone leave our store looking as overjoyed as she was. Definitely the highlight of my day. So I work at a pet store. My family owns it. We do boarding, daycare, training, grooming and retail. I had a regular come in a few months back. He wasn't doing too well financial since becoming disabled. He brought in his dog for grooming, and I noticed he had large amount of fleas. I called and informed him. I'll let him know that I would give his other dog a flea bath for cheap, so he could take care of it. Once he got there, he tried to pay with a care credit card that the state had given him. Unfortunately, we don't take that card. So he gave me his card information so I could charge him when he got paid. I sent with him with some flea and tick topical we sell over the counter. Well, the day came for me to run his card. He called me to remind me. I thanked him, got off the phone, and didn't charge him. Today he called realizing he hadn't been charged. I told him I didn't plan on charging him and was happy to be able to help. He couldn't talk for a bit, trying to compose himself. I got off the phone knowing I had made someone's day better. I know how hard it can be living on disability. My mom is on it. Sometimes even the littlest of things can help. Worked at a fast food chain when I was in high school. Many stories to be had about the work, but the only one really worth mentioning is a happy one. One of our recurring customers was the Diet Coke ladies. Every afternoon, they would come through the drive-thru and order 2 medium Diet Cokes. It was 2 old ladies with their dogs in the back of their little RAV4. Always nice, always wanting only 2 medium Diet Cokes. Occasionally, if things were super slow, we'd have a little chat as they paid only a minute or two, and they would drive up to the second window for their drinks. Everyone in the store knew them, and you just had to shout Diet Coke ladies are here, and the person up front would get the drinks ready. As I was getting ready to go to college in a couple weeks, I happened to mention it to them. They were glad for me and wished me well. 2 days later, they came through the drive-thru per usual, but when they paid, they also handed me a little box, wrapped with a little silk ribbon. Inside was a silver pen, and engraved on the side was 2 medium Diet Cokes. They told me they wanted me to pass my first test with it. Our store was liquidating to shut down, and we were in our final days. We were no longer giving refunds on goods that customers had simply changed their mind on. It was incredibly stressful and customers were being outright rude despite the fact that everyone they were dealing with was being made redundant in days. One day a chap came in and asked if we could refund a suitcase he bought and changed his mind on. He swapped it for a few other things, but he was still short by about 10 quid or so. I prepared myself for today's shakedown and told him I was very sorry he couldn't have any money back, but we were still exchanging if he wanted something to the value. He started pilling sweets, biscuits, cakes etc. onto the counter and asking if they added up to the difference. Eventually we were still about 10p short. I told him we weren't quite there, but we didn't have anything for 10p, so it was the best I could do. His response? I think you'll have trouble enough eating all of that. Cheerio. And off he went, leaving me with a giant pile of free food. Closing the store was an incredibly stressful time, but I'll always remember that friendly dude. In college, I worked for a floral shop that shared a space with a bakery. We had the space for both businesses to operate and it naturally was a good partnership. This story takes place near the end of my senior year. I was 6 weeks shy of graduating with 2 degrees. Although I cared about the stores and wanted them to do well, my nonsense tolerance had dropped significantly. One day, a woman came to me for balloons for her son's 2nd birthday party. She had already picked up her cake. Woman, grumpily tossing her balloon choices at me. Ugh, I can't believe the bakery. Me, oh, is there something wrong? Woman, yes. Look at this cake. She opens the box. It's a nice looking cake, decorated with icing and trains. A scrolling script says, "Happy 2nd birthday Jackson." Me, woman, don't you see it? Me, I think it's a lovely cab. Woman, it's in cursive. Why the FHCK would they put it in cursive? He's 2. Me, oh, well, it'll take me a couple minutes to fill these balloons. I bet you could take it back, and they could scrape off the old lettering, refrost the blank space, and rewrite it for you. Woman, Clearly hasn't heard a word I said. I can't believe someone is so stupid to think this is okay. Me, yelling above her, can your son even read? She immediately fell silent, blushed a deep purple, and was silent while I filled her balloons. She paid without a word.